This is the neuroscience behind the Lucky Girl manifestation trick and how you can use that neuroscience to make it actually work for you. First of all, I'm Emily. I'm a brain training specialist and certified hypnotherapist with a master's degree in mind-body medicine, so everything that I do is rooted in the science. Lucky Girl was that manifestation trend where everyone started saying, I'm so lucky, everything goes my way, and they started seeing their lives changing. But what was actually happening is that their brains were changing. When we're changing our brains on purpose, it's really important to recognize that the brain learns primarily from experience more than just thoughts and words. So if you're just saying, I'm so lucky, everything's great, everything goes my way, but you don't have experiences to pair with it, it's not gonna land as much. So what I want you to do is to start to move throughout your day and notice the moments where things already are going your way. Seek them out on purpose. Notice when you drive through a green light, things are going your way. When you have creamer for your coffee, things are going your way. When you have hot water for your shower, things are going my way. This is basically a gratitude practice on steroids. I want you to be a collector of all the little good things that are happening for you, because as you're noticing those things, your brain is learning from it and creating a belief. When we have a belief, our brains are really stubborn and they want to prove those beliefs right. So what happens is you start to automatically seek out and notice all of those moments where things are going your way. And that's when it feels like your life is changing, because you're noticing those opportunities that lead you to your goals. You are noticing all of the opportunities to feel happy. Things are clicking and falling into place, and you're noticing those miracles because your brain is primed to take them in. When I started doing this, my life went into a complete upward spiral because my brain was wide open and looking for those good things. So start going through your day and seeking those good things out and name it to yourself when it happens. Try this for a couple of weeks and I promise your life's gonna change.
Here's how you're going to use ChatGPT to embody your most Delulu Girl reality and create your Delulu Girl mornings. You're going to put this prompt into ChatGPT, screenshot to see. And then you're going to have the exact game plan of step-by-step what to do, what affirmations to say to make sure that you're getting your Delulu Girl embodiment to a T. Even if you do just one of these things, you're going to be way ahead of the game. So don't feel like you need to do all of them, but thank me later.
Let's talk about 5 ways to get lucky girl syndrome as I do my skincare for bed. All the products and everything are going to be linked below. So in the last year, I feel like I've just been lucky in like all aspects of my life, and I've started to kind of make note about what has been causing that, and I'm going to share you guys my secrets. Real quick, for those of you that don't know, lucky girl syndrome is basically when like good lucky things just happen to you all the time. People gravitate towards you, opportunities get handed to you. Just who doesn't want to have lucky girl syndrome, you know? Number 1 is don't expect anything from anyone. When you stop expecting so many things from people, you stop getting let down and you start just kind of going with the flow more. If you just expect a lot from people, you're going to get constantly disappointed and just put a lot of pressure on other people, when in reality, you only really have yourself. So the second I started to realize this, more things just started to flow naturally in my life. Number 2, which is the most important thing in my opinion, is be giving and kind to everybody, because you get what you receive and put out there. The second I started being more giving, treating my friends, just doing nice things for people, is the second that things started to like go way uphill for me. Good opportunities just started flowing, and I could really tell that what I was putting out, I was getting back. Number 3, don't chase people down in your life. You want to attract people and have them come to you. Lucky girls do not chase anyone down. They don't beg anybody to be in their life. They just go about their life and they attract the good people and the good things that come. Number 4 is you are who you surround yourself with. Stop surrounding yourself with unlucky, bad energy people. The second you start expanding your horizons, meeting good people, that's the second that good things are going to start flowing. Also, you kind of become who your friends are. So if your friends are very negative and not attracting good things, then it's likely that you're giving off that same energy. And number 5, say yes to every opportunity that comes your way. If you spend your whole life sheltered and saying no to things and missing out on opportunities because you're scared, your life is going to flash before your eyes and no lucky things are going to be happening to you. You should be saying yes to pretty much every opportunity that comes your way, because you have no idea how life-changing it could be in the long run. And if you're worried about like school or work or something like that, my motto is you only live once. So would you rather sit back and be boring, or would you rather send it and have the best time of your life? I think that being lucky is all just like a mindset. And so if you're able to transform your mindset with these tips, the luckiness will flow in, I'm telling you guys. Anyways, this is the final skincare routine. The skin is slaying. I'll link everything below. Mwah. Love you guys.
Immediately assume the best in every single situation first thing in the morning. What do I mean by this? First thing in the morning, you're going to assume greatness over your life. You're going to speak greatness over your life. So rather than assuming that everything's going to go to shit, you're going to hit the worst traffic, that your boss is going to be a dick to you, you're going to assume that everything will go your way. You're going to start training your brain to believe that every single thing goes exactly how you plan it to. So how does this look like in practice? First thing in the morning, you're going to say, today's going to be the best day of my life. Miracles will flow to me. I will receive unexpected and expected cash. I will receive love from every single person that I encounter. You're going to say these types of things first thing in the morning when your brain waves are awake and taking it and taking in and absorbing everything. Then before you do anything, and I mean anything, you're going to set an intention. Before you get in your car to drive to work, rather than assuming that you're going to hit the worst traffic and then it's going to be a difficult drive to get there because you're 10 minutes behind schedule, you're going to say, no, I'm going to hit every single green light and traffic is going to be non-existent today. It's going to be the smoothest drive and I'm going to get there exactly on time. If you have a very important meeting that you're stressed about, decree and say to yourself in that moment that everyone is going to be magnetized to me. Everyone is going to receive my message perfectly. Everyone's going to clap. They're going to be in awe with my message. If you have a job interview, you're going to say, you're going to charm the pants off them and the contract is already in the bag. If you're going on a date, you're going to say, this person is going to fall in love with me at first sight because I am so freaking magnetic. My energy is magnetic and they love everything about me. Assume greatness over your life. No matter what. Train your brain, train your identity to assume greatness. Do you realize how magnetic you become when you assume every single thing works out for you? Even in the interim, at the beginning, you're still seeing the old story. You're still seeing the mishaps. You still describe it exactly how you would want to see it. Don't fall back into victim and say nothing changed. No. Your brain can't see. Your brain is just taking direction from you. You tell your brain what to show you out here. So no matter what you're seeing in the 3D, you tell it, this has worked out for me. Even if you're stuck in traffic, wow, there's no cars on the road. It's the easiest drive I've ever had. Train your brain to expect greatness. It will change your life.
Okay, this lucky girl syndrome idea is not designed to be used when things aren't going our way. And that's why a lot of people are misinterpreting it and reading it as toxic positivity. Now, I'm Emily. I'm a brain training specialist and a hypnosis practitioner, and I help people use mental practices to change their brain and body's response to stress, build confidence, build more inner resources, and work towards their goals more efficiently. And I think that this idea of lucky girl syndrome is brilliant if it's used with caution. If you're not familiar with it, lucky girl syndrome is basically this idea where people are embodying a belief that they are fortunate, they are lucky, and things go their way. But the important thing to note is that beliefs live in the subconscious part of our brain, and the subconscious doesn't learn from knowledge or facts or rationalizations. It learns from experience. Physical, emotional experiences that we have throughout our lives. So just saying to ourselves, I'm so lucky, I'm so lucky, I'm so lucky, isn't actually going to teach our brain a new belief because it doesn't have an experience to back it up. But if you use it as a brain training practice, and every time you notice something that actually is going well in your life, even if it's small, and you say, things are going my way, and you really put your focused attention on it and you express gratitude for it, that's going to start to change the brain. It's obviously not going to work if we say, oh my gosh, I'm so lucky that my car broke down. I'm so lucky that I lost my job. I'm so lucky that I broke my foot, because those experiences are very contradictory to the belief that we're trying to form. So we need to amplify the moments where things are going our way. So if I go to the store and they have what I want, things are going my way. If someone holds the door for me, things are going my way. If something was on sale, things are going my way. It could even be smaller than that. Let's say I want to have a cup of coffee in the morning and I have enough creamer left. Things are going my way. There are so many things that do go our way in our lives that we just take for granted. We can use those experiences as resources to actually help us train our brain to believe that things are going right for us. And the more our brains start to believe that, the more optimism we have, the more trust we have that things will turn out okay, even when things are hard, the more excited we are for our days, the more confident we are. So lean into the moments where that statement is true. And when things don't go your way, when you are facing challenges, that's not the time to engage with lucky girl syndrome. In those moments when things are hard, show yourself compassion. Don't try to pretend like everything's great. It's okay to acknowledge that something sucks and hold space for that crappy feeling. But what's beautiful about this lucky girl syndrome is that it's giving people permission to celebrate the good things in their life. There will always be hard shit that we're gonna face. There will also always be good things in our days. Even the smallest things that are worth celebrating. You are worth celebrating. Try that out. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know how that goes, and follow me for more.
Lucky girl syndrome. Everyone's talking about it, but no one's teaching you how to do it, so listen up. A couple years ago, I was living paycheck to paycheck. I didn't like where I was living. I was dating someone who wasn't making me happy. Basically, my life was in complete shambles. I was so tired of being broke all the time. I was tired of not feeling fulfillment in my work. I was tired of not liking my apartment, even though my apartment was really cheap, and that's what had kept me there for so long. One day I got the courage and I was like, you know what? Even though I'm not paying a lot in my apartment, I have to take a financial hit and move and just like find a way to create a new life for myself. And I also knew that I was gonna have to change my attitude because I was someone who was very, woe is me, everything bad always happens to me, because I honestly did feel like everything bad did happen to me, but you can't look at life that way, and I knew I had to change. So I started doing research. I knew that there were lots of successful people out there, and I decided I was gonna figure out how they did what they did. I read financial books, I read self-development books, I read books about therapy, and all of these books seem to have one thing in common. Every single one of them stressed the importance of your daily mindset. And I'm not talking about when you're just thinking about it. It's during those little in-between moments. When you're driving your car, when you're waiting in line at the grocery store. Where does your mind go? And thus, what energy are you producing? The reason that people do meditations, affirmations, morning routines, journaling practices is because they are working on cultivating a new mindset and thus radiating out a different energy. This is where lucky girl syndrome comes in. If you revert back to the mantra of, I'm so lucky, everything is always happening for me, and that really gets a feeling of luck and excitement going within you, that changes your frequency right there. And if you can keep coming back to that throughout the day, it will totally magnetize different things into your life. I manifested my dream apartment, over 100,000 followers on TikTok, a new friend group of like 6 girls who all roller skate. I built a clothing store that did over $10,000 in sales in the first month. From there, I went on to build my mindset coaching business, and now I can work on my own hours. I can travel when I want. I'm thinking about starting a YouTube channel. This all happened very quickly, and I struggled all throughout my 20s. I wrote a workbook with the journaling prompts that I used to rewire my subconscious brain so that I could step into this new lucky version of myself. So if you want to download that, it's available at the... It all starts with stepping into a new belief system. You'll surprise yourself. Just watch.
I just got off the phone with my mom and I'm going through a hard decision to make right now. And she told me, Shelby, I don't know what to tell you. Everything in your life somehow always works out. I hung up the phone and I thought to myself, I'm like, she's right. Literally every single thing in my life works out. Like I genuinely live in Barbie dreamland, where no matter what I do, it turns to gold. I always get what I want. And I was thinking about it and I was like, why does this, how? Literally, like I just am not affected by a lot of the things that other people have happened in their life, and I'm very grateful for it, but I really think that it's down to a science of the way that my mentality works, so I'll share it with you guys because you deserve to feel this as well. There's 4 parts. This might be a long video, but it'll be worth it. So number 1 is know that in any big decision in life, it's not black and white. There's not a good decision and a bad decision. There's just a couple different decisions and a couple pluses and minuses of each different one. And this will give you faith that knowing whichever decision you go with, you're gonna make the best out of it. Because you are the one that makes yourself happy. Not being in a certain place, not being with a certain person, not any certain opportunity. It's you and your mindset. And no matter what happens in this life, you're always going to be good. And the number 2 is trust in God and feel the Holy Spirit. I don't know if you're religious, but I am. And I genuinely think that my God and a couple of other angels that I believe that are true guide me. That they are literally like, you are going to be at the right place where you need to be no matter what happens in your life. And the biggest indicator for this is feeling the Holy Spirit. When you feel pulled to do something, do it. When you feel blocked and when your soul feels sucked, don't do that. Don't make that move because it's literally draining the life out of you. You're not supposed to be there. The Holy Spirit is moving you in a different direction. Okay, number 3. Your actions have to be aligned with your dreams. You can't just say, oh, I want to do all of these big things and have this big life, but your actions aren't aligned with your dreams. You have to do big decisions in order to get big results. For me, that was moving out of my hometown, moving to Miami, buying a nice car, getting into sales, closing big deals, betting on myself, starting a company, like all of these different things. My actions are very dramatic because I wanted a dramatic change in my life. And lastly, this one's not good at all, but it kind of is. Be so selfish with you and your happiness. Guard that shit like it is your job. You need to be happy. It is not your job in this life to make anybody else happy. You know how many friendships or situations or moves that I've had to make that piss people off. But it's my life. I don't care. I am in charge of building my dream life. Nobody else is looking out for me. I am. Literally, like, I want you to imagine yourself. This is always what I think about whenever I'm making a big decision. Myself at 80 years old, looking back on my life. I have my family, I have my kids, I'm in my house, I've got whatever I want. How would I make a decision according to that? Would I stay with somebody just because I feel bad? Would I stay in an opportunity just because I feel bad? Would I let people walk all over it? No. Be selfish. Because at the end of the day, all that matters is you at the end. And the way that your decisions will create the life that you want to have when you're 80 years old looking back on it. Literally.
I'm going to teach you how to raise your kids to be really lucky. Yes, you can raise your kids to be lucky. How do I know? Because I was raised lucky. I get everything I want and I don't work that hard for it. And I'm not bragging, okay? That's just true. And you can do it too, or you can at least make it possible for your kids. Growing up, my parents always said to me that I was born under a lucky star. Like, I literally remember them saying that to me so many times as a young child. Anytime anything good happened to me, they would say, you were born under a lucky star. Like, of course that would happen for you. They also considered themselves very lucky. Like, my mom would always assume she was going to get an amazing parking spot right in front of wherever we wanted to go because she'd say, I'm so lucky. And so I just assumed always that every good thing was happening to me because I was born lucky. Who am I to argue with that as a kid? But because of that mindset, I'm always looking for lucky things to happen to me. I'm always taking chances of buying little lottery tickets in life because I assume that I'm going to win because I was born so lucky. But if I didn't think I was lucky, I wouldn't take those chances. I wouldn't give luck the opportunity to visit my life in the way that I do because I assume that I am lucky. Here's what would happen to me when I didn't get the thing that I wanted, when I didn't feel lucky. For example, I remember so clearly, I was at this silent auction or something for charity as a little kid. It was all for grown-up stuff, but there was one basket that had a panda bear, Beanie Baby, and jelly beans. And I wanted this so bad, okay? Because who wouldn't want a panda bear, Beanie Baby, and some jelly beans? But I didn't get it. And I remember on the car ride home for the first time in my little kid life thinking, are my parents full of shit? I thought I was born under a lucky star. And my parents both very calmly said, well, it just means something better is coming for you. And I'm thinking, what could be better than a panda bear, Beanie Baby, and some jelly beans? But the very next day, I get a call from the Great Horned Owl. The Great Horned Owl was a local bookstore near us, and they tell me that I had won an American Girl doll. That's right, an American Girl doll. I had written my name on a little piece of paper. I didn't even remember doing it. And I thought, they were right. I was born under a lucky star. So if you want your kids to grow up to be lucky, tell them how lucky they already are, okay?
Let me explain Lucky Girl Syndrome for you in literally like 10 seconds. See, by nature, we are naturally programmed to always make assumptions. I want to say it's like 60 to 70% of your daily thoughts are assumptions. And most often, those assumptions tend to be negative. A lot of that is because of your previous programming and the society that we live in today. And so you can create Lucky Girl Syndrome for yourself by simply changing those assumptions to be more positive. Start just literally assuming and telling yourself that everything is always working out in your favor and even better than you could imagine. And the more you start to assume that, the more that will become your reality. And all of a sudden, you really will be walking around like literally the luckiest girl on earth.
If you don't want Lucky Girl Syndrome, keep scrolling. So what you're going to do, bestie, if you want Lucky Girl Syndrome, is you're literally going to change the story that you tell yourself. You're going to say, I am lucky. Things are always happening for me. I'm always in the right place at the right time. Things happen easily, effortlessly, naturally for me. I'm so goddamn lucky. This is literally what I say to myself every day, and guess what, besties? I just won 7 nights free accommodation at the Karma Group hotels. If you've been to Bali before, you'll know that they've got some really cool beach clubs. Love you so much. Try this for 30 days and see how you go.